Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Smart Poker YouTube channel and another episode of Sundazed and Confused. This is number 141, labeled The Timeless Art of Husbandry. And as always, my wife, Crispy Wannabe, is here beside me, and we'll get the link up.
Cheers, everybody. It's good to be back. I've missed you. I feel like I haven't been on a show for a minute. Had some health things going on. Wasn't feeling quite myself. But I'm back and excited to be here hanging out with friends and smoking down. So hopefully everybody has got their gear rolled up, packed in their bong, put in their vape, have their hash in their glass, and are ready to roll.
Right on. Nice to have you back, babe.
Art Man, cheers, buddy. Good to see you.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's good to be back on track. For a little while. I'll be missing some shows in the future because I think Smart said that he let y'all know I'll be having some surgery next month.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually in a couple weeks, so they say it's a 6-week recovery, so we'll see. I've been eating my Wheaties, so I'm trying to make myself strong for this. Getting right in my head, getting right with my diet, trying to cut back on my smoke. I really appreciate Seed Person and XYZ sending me medicine because it's really helping me out in my soul, in my headspace. So that's been a big plus.
Having a hard time.
Smart is trying to get this link pinned.
It keeps clicking on it instead of pinning it, like it's trying to take me into my own show.
We have OK Jace joining us. I'm going to run these buttons while you're running those buttons. Hopefully I don't screw anything up. Hey, Jace, how you doing today?
Hey, pretty good, Crispy. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great. Glad to be here hanging out with you. Fabulous people.
Hey, Jace.
Everybody have a good Christmas?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Did have a good Christmas, man.
Art Man, were you a good boy this year? Did you get all your things you wanted?
I did get what I wanted, but I was definitely not a good boy.
I don't
And it was fun, let me tell you.
We got to meet up with our buddy XYZ Vector. That was fun.
It was nice to actually see him in person and give him a hug.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That'd be great. I'd love to give Big A a hug.
Group hug.
It was fun. Cheers to the chat. Uncle Rick's in here in 2 different names.
Yeah, I saw that. Is that you, Rick? He signed in under the wrong one.
Talk about he's giving us double the view time, huh? You got a computer running under one, get the phone running under another. Appreciate that, Rick.
It's double the pleasure, double the fun.
Yeah.
There we go. Stereo. Rick squared.
I know, I got that. I got that
song. Moving in stereo. Yeah, okay. Way to go, Uncle Rick. I'll be singing that all day. Hey, what else do we want to get into? There was something going on. Oh, the Ohio thing. What the hell's going on in Ohio? I mean, I just read something a couple minutes ago, and somebody else was telling me about Ohio. Does anybody know what they're doing there?
They're going to roll back some of the stuff that they passed. They promised to do that when they passed it. The guy that was one of the other guys says, "Now don't get your hopes up. We're going to change this right back when we get back in power." So basically, they're trying to take the home grow, cut it from 12 to 6 plants, lower the THC levels on the. I think they mean dispensaries, but I'm not quite sure about that. I haven't heard the whole thing on that. But yeah, lower the THC and cut the home grow down.
Dude, I knew
6 plants isn't bad, but you know.
Politicians reneging. They always want to renegotiate everything, and
they don't understand.
Actually, this guy, he's not reneging. He promised to do that from the beginning. So he's actually.
There was a Democratic House there at the state level or whatever. They was passing it during that whatever period.
Then
You wouldn't
the-
call
yeah.
that a congressional period, whatever, you know. And then they were probably the Republicans standing there saying, "Look, we already got enough votes. We know we're going to win if we get into the power next year. If we're the majority, we're going to peel
switch
some of this
everything
back." So, but who knows? Maybe that's just me assuming. But man, what I saw was that they're approving. The article I was reading, they was approving pre-rolls for medical and recreational.
Okay, that's good.
That's what I thought.
Pre-rolls, huh?
Yeah.
What about? I don't know what that really means. No flower or just pre-rolls?
Well, no, I think that you're not allowed to sell a pre-rolled joint unless there's a law. Like in some states,
okay.
like you can sell it as a flower but not rolled already or some shit. I don't understand it either. I guess it's the difference between opening a beer and putting it in your car and driving it home, you know? I don't know. But they said about it said they're following suit on other states that are allowing pre-rolls to be sold. And you know, maybe I'm a little more negative than I like to believe, but my first instinct was so now they can sweep the grow room floor and sell you all
Floor
this shit.
sweeping.
Yeah,
I knew it. I knew it.
Pre-rolls are the worst, man. That's bottom barrel shit right there.
yeah.
That
You
is.
can add on a little sprinkle a little powdered terps and sell those pre-rolls as some fancy look, we wrap wax around it and everything else, you know. But I guess the unassuming, the unsuspected, and it's always buyer beware.
Probably smoking more spider mites than anything else. That's nasty. Or bud rot.
Well, let's
'Cause
hope that everything goes our way because it's really popular, you know, medically, recreationally across the country or most places. So I don't know if they can put the toothpaste back in the tube, you know. That's the analogy I've heard. So
Well put.
let's hope.
Let's
hope
welcome
for
our
everybody.
new guest, XYZ Icenite. I'm sorry.
Cheers, buddies. Glad to have you
Hey,
here.
guys.
Howdy.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
I still got. Is that the cars moving and staring at me?
Yeah.
I still got the song.
That is the cars.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I've got that.
I have a fake Casio.
Thanks, Smart.
Yeah.
I'll be singing it. They call that an earworm, by the way.
XYZ says we have flour. Jace is showing deep flour. Looks like there might be something missing in Jace's tank.
I just want to point out that I am hoping with Rolling Smoke that 2025 is the year of the cannabis plant. I like that thought, and I want to, shout that out. I hope so too.
Oh yeah.
There's Berkshire Bud.
Berkshire Bud, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, good to see you. Glad you're here this week.
I know.
Christine,
I'm feeling a lot better.
Missed you last
Bert.
week. Hey,
What's up,
how
Bert?
you doing? Not much. Looks like my camera's not adjusted right because you're only seeing my. This is the old Berkshire here. Here we go. Well, we got to get the pipe here.
Oh yeah,
There you go. Sherlock.
I love it.
You got it. Well, I chopped last night, and so I can't stay on too long because I'm supposed to be potting up the other plants now that I have pots for them.
Oh wow! So you're trimming and potting. Or are you done trimming?
No, I'm done trimming. I just cut them and hung them up to dry.
Gotcha.
Actually, I hung them all up to dry last night, and then after that, I remembered that the two of the plants I was planning on washing mostly, so I was going to fresh freeze them. So this morning I get to cut a few buds off of them and then put them in the freezer. They'll be fresh enough.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Pot up time. That's always fun.
Oh yeah.
I actually enjoy the pot up time because I like looking at the roots, and I like the hands-on feel of all of that.
Nice.
I'm sorry, all one.
Sometimes you got to cough to get off, and Smart's got the cough going on.
Yeah, we're not. Y'all like Art Man or Weed Nerd or some of these other guys who can just pop a lid and look at these big plush roots all white, you know. So for us people that grow an actual substrate, we have to wait the pot ups to kind of see, you know, the development of our roots. And I mean, obviously it reflects on your plant, but it's still nice to see it, right?
Yeah.
That's why I love those air pots, because when you're done, you can crack them open and see what your roots look like.
That's fun. It's usually
Yeah,
just
Oh
a big
yeah.
I had when I potted up from the air pot, the little propagation, the little 1 liter propagation cells into 1 gallons. I did what Dr. Coco did by mistake and forgot to take the little disc off the bottom of the plant, so it was in the middle of the 1 gallon. So I just when I just took the stumps out, I had to like dig through all the roots and try to find that little small disc in the middle of the roots. And it's actually was fun because it was like, wow, this is like solid. This is a solid
Root.
ball of roots. That's all that's
Yeah.
in here, and they're all those little fine, delicate roots. There's no big giant ones. I love the air pots. I'll never
Oh, they're
grow into
great.
anything else.
Yeah, they're great. I agree. They make such a huge difference, and you can physically see it at the end after harvest when you're taking that pot off and you're examining those root balls, as you know, opposed to, because we would do that in the fabric pots. So I was just always so curious, like, what makes these better? You know, how are these roots growing? And what a difference you can see it. It's pretty cool.
Totally.
Oftentimes I have to get in there with a meat skewer and stab it like the psycho killer, man, just so I can get the fertigation, to run through. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I always feel like when I get to that point, I'm really happy because we've cultivated as much roots as we have biomass above ground. But it's also that I feel like I'm creating channels for a least path of resistance. And I feel like, well, the rest of the grow, half my roots are going to be dry, regardless of surfactant. You know what I mean? And I always feel that way. But it works out great. Hey, those things take a while to compost too. Those big lumpy, you unroll an air pot and throw that in your compost pile, and it takes a while, man.
Oh yeah. Let me see. Let me see if I can figure out how to. No, I don't know how to do it. I just took a picture of the bone pile out back, which is where I toss all my
Yeah.
composted, and it's a decent sized pile of roots that still have a lot of antlers on them and everything.
Yeah,
And they take a couple of years to completely break down.
they sure do.
Well, I wonder where all the cocoa goes, because I've pulled air pots off and it's like, where's the cocoa? I know it's in there.
Have you ever when you buy the cocoa and it's dried and compressed, in like a
Never do
little
it that
brick?
way.
Oh, if you buy a little brick of cocoa that's this big, it'll almost fill a 5-gallon bucket of rehydrated cocoa. And so as the roots are growing, they are just recompressing that cocoa smaller and smaller and smaller, and getting it back to its compressed size. That's all.
They're
Wow,
eating
that's
all the
crazy.
porosity too, all the void, as we would call it in
Yeah.
taking loads in a dump truck. You don't want no void, and that's what happens. That's why the water doesn't want to go through. And you're right, though. It's like it can be perplexing because you're thinking about water and you think about displacement, and you're thinking, how do all these roots grow in there, but nothing really gets pushed out, And it's a good question. Where's all the cocoa? Cocoa's just locked up in the roots. People try to reuse it, and I'm thinking it's impossible. There's like nothing left. You get a few flakes off of it, and that's it. Maybe a little perlite off the top.
Yeah, you're getting a small return on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even putting perlite in my cocoa. I'm just going straight.
I used a new kind of cocoa this time, and I actually potted up my mom's into little pots without any perlite, thinking, oh, that'll help them stay moist longer, and I won't need to water as often. And it did exactly the opposite. Basically, the new cocoa was so fine that without perlite, they stagnated, and I had problems with lack of oxygenation in the pots. And so that's why I'm in a rush to pot them up the rest of the way, because they're sitting in little propagation cells with no aeration, and they're looking nasty.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah. yeah, they're all having deficiencies and eating up what nutrients are left in their own leaves and yeah, it's
Yeah.
but they'll pull back. They'll come back around.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, you got a clone sitting in front of you that you pretty much just put in a clear jug and had it under light.
Right, exactly. Oh, it needs to be watered. It's down to, yeah, I don't know
Look
if you
at
can see
these
it, but
roots.
there's
Here,
a
let me put you in the big screen for a second. Look at these roots.
there you
They
go.
filled out and they're like a web.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
and there's almost no water left in here because they
Wow.
drank it up. They drank it up overnight.
That's amazing.
I told you to say.
That's crazy amazing to see that, Burke.
Wow.
Wow.
Here we are. We put cuttings in a cup of water and we try to get them to root and they die off. He throws this in there and laughs at it and bam. That's how it goes.
Yeah,
Burke throws his in an ashtray.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, actually, this is a special Japanese what's it called, ikebana flower arranging pot, which is for, you're supposed to like put a couple of sprigs of flowers in it. So that's what I did. I put a couple of little sprigs of flowers. I put a nice piece of blueberry stick in there and a couple of stems of cannabis. And I figured, okay, they'll get limp and die in a couple of days, and I'll replace them. And that was like a month ago, and now they've got roots. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Thunder Dan singing Nirvana in the chat, but he replaced his word. Oh my.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm singing it in my head. That's funny.
Oh, I'm just reading it right now. Where's the cocoa go when it dies?
Yeah.
Oh, good point, Art. Yeah, they reincarnated as coconuts.
If they were nice, but if they
If they
weren't
were nice.
nice, I'm not sure. Maybe spider mites. That's the worst thing I can think of right off the.
Yeah. Speaking of cocoa grows, let's go check out a well-managed cocoa grow here. You're looking a little light. Did you harvest or move?
Oh, I harvested 3 of them, so I got half of my tank gone now. But this is what I'm gonna be running moving forward. Just 3 plants, and I like it already better.
Yes, I agree.
I got a first, second, third place right there.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
They are so different, and they're all beautiful. But they look.
They're
Man, I'll tell you anymore, that Tropicana cherry wouldn't have made it because that water emitter line's not much longer, so I couldn't go any taller than what I got it. I thought I cut it plenty long, but man, I've got that thing raised up a good 2 foot, I bet,
Damn.
off the ground. Yeah. Yeah, these are almost done. I had to tie this one up. It doesn't look like it, but it actually was starting to sag over a little bit, so I just had to yo-yo it up. We got some good buds on the top up here.
Sure does. Hey, that looks like a poster child for sativa versus indica on the right. You know, the way they're built.
Yeah. Yeah, because the one in the middle is about, I think it's right at 3 foot tall, and that one on that right, it's maybe a foot tall.
Yep.
And one on the
But
left,
honestly,
purple. That's purple.
yeah, it's
Panty
gorgeous. But yeah, that's the purple panty droppers. Gorgeous buds. They're just not that big. The buds didn't come up that big on it. A little disappointed on this one.
Oh yeah. They're kind
I think I got too busy in here. This is my first time in a 2x4, and I think I just overdid it on the topping. I should have topped it maybe half and ran just 2 main colors for each one. Because this is about the right space as it is. Maybe a little bit opened up from what it is. But I think moving forward, I'll probably just run 4. I'll do a cross just like I did down here. And I'll just run 4 mains up moving forward. But I should have ran half that in here. Because I don't think I had enough room for foliage and stuff. It's getting kind of cramped in here. But these buds look pretty good on this Tropicana cherry. Pretty good sized buds.
Nice. You've got those rails on those top leaves with all the fuzz on them that I got on my Tropicana cherry by Super Boof. Yeah, It's just amazing how frosty they get. Beautiful,
Makes
Yeah,
you
they-
think
beautiful.
it's a good washer, you know.
Well, it'll definitely be good. We know that you make your gummies, Jace, so that's gonna be all good medicine for that.
Trim, yeah.
Yeah, like these lowers. I mean, they're not. I mean, they'll still be decent smoking flower, but I'll probably end up using them for edibles. I don't know. I was talking to you guys. I'm really trying to reduce my inventory a little bit here, so I'm not trying to push it to the envelope like I used to.
Yeah, that's usually the graduation. You know, once people realize that a 5x5 can well overproduce, you kind of, plus you can have fun. You grow different strains. You don't have to veg as long. You can do different things, and it's not just balls to the wall production. Wait. You know what I mean? I need weight.
I will say though, who here doesn't like to have about 80 jars just on backup? It's like having cash in the bank. If the shit would go down, that's definitely what you want buried in your backyard for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I had to switch to making rosin, because I had too many jars of flour. So now every time I grow, I keep a couple of jars of flour, and the rest gets made into rosin or washed for hash, and it's a lot more condensed to store.
Yeah, you got and you still have your bank of medication for just in case, you know?
You're not in any
But
risk of
enough
running
jars.
out.
Those are beautiful,
look at
Jace.
That's beautiful.
You need more. More.
No, I'm trying to reduce. I need like one row here. Just that's it. I like one jar of each strain. I've got more in the herbs now. I just had to rearrange those. It's got about 48 hours left. I think they said check it when there's about 36 hours left.
Yeah, 36.
Nice.
Somebody else was saying that. Well, who was that? Someone was just talking about this.
I love the green
Oh,
color on those the My Herbs Now dryer. The green color reminds me of like Tommy Knockers and the Stephen King. It looks like it's glowing. It's beautiful.
Uranium glassware.
Uranium glassware. Exactly. Let me get my black light out.
almost matches Burke's lamp that he had there.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just saying that's like my color. My color there is the bright green. I'm gonna have to invest in one of those little green dryers just so I have the color.
I've heard nothing but great shit about them.
They look really cool too.
Jace, is that a like one of those dryers, like fruit dryers or something?
Yeah, basically it's just so it has these little notches right here,
Okay. Yeah.
and I can feel air coming out. Yeah, it's kind of like a dehydrator, like a food dehydrator. I guess it's more calibrated for a specific temperature for this.
Better thermostat, I'm sure, because you can raise it 1 degree if you want, right?
Yeah. Oh well, no, actually, you can't adjust the temperature on these. They did that by default, so people couldn't hurt themselves, I guess. But you can adjust the time on it. That's it.
Oh, okay.
So when you first turn it on, by default, it goes to 96 hours, and then you can adjust it. So like, I've had to unplug it because I reran all my electrical over here, so I had to unplug it, and I had to reset the time on it basically. So that was nice.
Damn, you got like plug central right there.
Oh yeah, man, this is so nice. I've got everything plugged in up here now, and it's mounted up here too. And then I moved both of my controllers over here too, so they were way up on the tent. I couldn't get to them, which is fine, you know, because I hardly ever physically use my controller. I use everything on the app, but
Yeah.
just having better visibility on it or ease of access in case I need to plug something else into it. And then I got my clone tent going. Also, I built a frame there. I don't know if you can see. I got a clone tent in the middle now.
Nice.
Yeah, content envy.
There was I want to let Texas Sweet Hopper know that he's hooked up, and I wanted to mention that I just read an article the other day that a Pennsylvania grower got busted because he had overloaded his power strip and caught on fire, and he had like 4 kids in his house and 4 adults and everything else, and he got busted for it. So just a good shout out.
His main charges were child endangerment. Like those are much stiffer, I think, than the
So I think it's even without that charge, I think it's just very wise that we all take the time to make sure we have oversized loads to be able to handle. Make sure you have a dedicated line. Buy 6 ways or 8 ways, 4 ways that can handle a heavy load, and just make sure you don't skimp in that area. Some appliances aren't meant to run on extension cords, and it's best to run them directly to the plug. And make sure if you do run things on extension cords, you take the time to come back and check them consistently, especially at first, to make sure they're not heating up and shit. I can't stress enough how much we should all have a fire extinguisher in our grow room, as well as working fire smoke alarm. And that scared the shit out of me. When I read that stuff, I get cold chills. Literally, it'll like hit me in the gut, So I like what Jace got here. He's got like a real clean setup, and he knows his shit. He's got like some good power strips and stuff, and it's nice to see.
Yeah, that's exactly why I did that.
We did there.
Right after I read that story, because I used to have all that shit just laying on the ground down here, and that's like right by my overflow catch for my water. I was like, that's no good. I got to do something with this. So I finally ponied up and got a good surge protector. This thing's got a 10-foot cord on it too. I love that. It has 18 outlets. I think it does up to like 1800 watts and 15 amps, and then it's got 4 USB ports at the bottom and 1 USB-C. So that's pretty handy.
Nice. And if you can find a ground fault interrupt circuit, that's really important for anything that's going to be close to water. Anything you're plugging in your grow room that's going to be, pumps, anything in the tent that might get wet, should be on a GFCI circuit. Makes a huge difference.
And you'll see these in your bathrooms or anywhere near a sink where you can actually reach the water and the flicker at the same time, or the plug-in. Oftentimes they'll have them there, and a lot of times they have the reset button on them. You can test them and reset. Those are great.
Yeah,
and
I've
got one up here now.
Yeah, this is one you can buy at Home Depot. They're about $35. They come with a 3-way outlet. If you got anything submerged in water, or like Burke said, gonna get wet, put one of these in. I use it for my drain runoff tank, tanks, but I haven't hooked that up yet. I got to do that today. I haven't even filled up my runoff tanks to 20% yet in this grow, and normally I'd had to drain it like 3 or 4 times.
Nice. So this is another thing you can get at Home Depot. This is a Home Depot, or maybe it was Lowe's. Anyway, it's another big extension outlet, and that one has I don't know if you can see it down here. That one's got a GFCI on the plug, so fits everything in.
Nice. Very, very smart to have those, man.
Yeah, well, as a retired firefighter and EMT, it would be really bad if I had to call my friends to come rescue me.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't. Hey, Jace, was that it? I wanted to make sure that you were done before we moved on to the next grow. I see some things going down here.
Yeah, that's all I had going there. Just kind of revamping my setup here, getting ready for the next run, and getting ready to chop down these other ones. So I'll get the microscope on them here pretty soon. I think they're almost done. I definitely within the week, maybe in a few days. I wouldn't be surprised if they're ready right now, but we'll see. We'll chop them down when they're ready.
Successful grows becoming the norm at Jace's house. Nothing makes us happier.
All thanks to you guys.
Plus, when you have your product going to come out of dry and cure, and you're ready to smoke it, and that's coming up in a few days, it's a magical time. It always, like, no matter what time of year, it's like Christmas, because like in a couple days you'll be smoking that. It's just like opening up a brand new gift.
Hell yeah.
There's some good stuff there. Sevens, cheers to the chat. There's a lot of good content going down in the chat, as always. Seven says use Apple HomeKit for home automation. Apple recently activated the smoke and CO detector inside the HomePod speakers. That's freaking cool. If you fire or smoke, you get notified on your phone. That's pretty badass.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, let's move on. How did they come in here? I think I see Ice and I's over there. We're gonna have to get. We'll be. I think it's XYZ, then Ice and I, then Burke, which I don't think he's gonna have anything to show really.
No.
We'll jump down to. Everybody got a couple minutes to hang out. If not, speak now. We can rearrange.
Burke with nothing to show. What about that dish that he showed us with his
That's
plants? All
right.
like they're looking so beautiful too, with all those roots, and there was no water. That's wild.
Not a single
Yep.
Burke tip.
Wild.
Let's see. Let's go to XYZ. I see you're doing.
Your
really
plants
good.
are looking beautiful. They're loving that automation system you got going.
Yeah, well, they're loving it too much. It's about time to. I think I'm gonna put up a net. What I want to do is take these colas. I want to bend them over, let the rest of the plants get up. Take the top colas and just kind of bend them around. That way, I can get a little bit bigger canopy. I had to take a plant out once I got back from my trip to Pittsburgh. I had another male. So I'm down to 4, but they're all females now.
Nice.
And we can get some close-ups of them.
And I'll tell you that those 4, it looks like you're going to fill that space. So
How many did you start altogether?
6.
6.
You got 4?
Mm-hmm.
That's good odds.
Yeah. It's about what I anticipated. I mean, this right one's the goth girl. The one in the back is like, I've lost track of them. I had to shuffle them. So I think the one in the back is Banana Runts crossed with Trop Cherry. This one's Banana Runts crossed with Trop Cherry. And that's Banana Runts with Trop Cherry. And that's a goth girl right there. So, yeah, I got to flatten out the canopy a little bit. They're getting a little bit, they're not wildly, height challenged, but I would like to get them a little bit flatter. So I can get a couple more colas. But that's all I got going on in the tent for right now.
All right. Someone's joining us here. I don't recognize their name, but I do see some plants.
I think I recognize the name. I think I've seen you around I Am Green Giant.
We're going to let them in.
How you guys doing today?
We're doing good. How about you, buddy?
Doing pretty good. We got the storms coming through, but I'm thankful for another day. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Hey, you got a couple minutes to hang out with us?
Sure do.
All right. We'd like to go in the order that people came unless they have to leave quickly. That way we keep it kind of just civil. It makes it easy. No favoritism, all that stuff. So it works out great. Up next, our buddy Ice and I see he's doing a reset here. And I see a window I don't think I've ever seen before. Oh, wait, he said he was done.
Oh, was it?
XYZ,
Okay.
he was done, right?
Next week's the inspection, but yeah,
He said that's all I got.
everything's all clear. So
Looks great.
looks pretty normal, apart from this. But this, I've got I reset all of this. Cover crops now coming through. So in a couple of days, that the others should hopefully have their eels sprouts coming up and everything.
Yeah.
Hey.
I've just got to reset the worm bin, and I'm good. And I'll be I just got my little tent to take down as well. And that's my last little job, but I've even tidied up there. Look.
Yeah, you got your vent hole covered up.
Yeah.
Nice. It's
What a difference
I'm
that
sure your
room
wife's loving this, huh? She's probably thinking, "Oh, this is great." No, it looks good, man. It's gonna be
It'll be
nice
a
to have
nice
a
reset.
reset.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel good, I think. Kind of a bummer.
I remember that room.
Yeah.
I've
Always
even give the floor a nice clean as well. One thing I'm sort of regretting, I'm not too sure what everyone's opinions is on this lino floor, but it off gases, and it's got some bad chemicals and everything else in it. So if for future references, if everyone's thinking about floorings and stuff, maybe look at the stuff that's in them, because if we're adding temperature in these rooms and everything as well. So,
And I think we call that linoleum here in the United States.
Yeah,
Linoleum flooring. Yeah.
vinyl floor, like linoleum.
Vinyl,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we just
linoleum's something different. Linoleum's the old stuff that's actually made out of, it's natural. It's made out of linseed oil. So it's a plant-based product. Vinyl flooring is the stuff that has polyvinyl chloride and all sorts of nasty stuff in it.
okay.
So yeah, linoleum is
Okay.
good. It's expensive now, but that's good stuff.
Hey, I'm glad you
That's
cleared
good
that
to
up
know.
because I call everything linoleum, even the new stuff they're putting. Like, yeah, they're putting linoleum down, and it's not that's
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I never give it a thought, of like researching your flooring for your grow room. But that brings up a good point to
Yeah.
make sure you're doing your homework because you don't want those bad chemicals gassing off in your grow space.
linoleum, linseed. It
Yep.
makes sense.
Well, not just your grow space, just in your general
Well,
space.
Yeah, in your
it's
living
not just
space.
for us.
Yeah. Period. Right. Well, it's nice to see your reset, man. I'm sure you guys feel pretty comfortable ready with the inspection coming and shit. That's important.
Yeah. It's, I've got a few of it because this isn't a what they call an electrical one. It's not like the gas one where they just come in and service your boiler, check you,
Yeah.
But this one's an electrical, so they're going to want to go to every plug socket in my house.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more intrusive. So I'm going to have to be, put all my jars away, any sort of like smoking accessories like my bongs and my ball vape and things like that. Just can't have lying around my trim bins. Oh, I've got loads of stuff just kicking around, just that most people wouldn't have in their house, should I say?
Right. And we look at it as normal everyday stuff. You have to walk around with the mind's eye of a normal person, not a grower. It's like, oh wait, just because it's been sitting there for a year, these hygrometers aren't normal. Whatever. But yeah, I totally get it. We got up next is Texas Weed Hopper. Then it's off the Iron Green Giant. It looks like two nice grow spaces rocking here.
I'm here. Yeah, FedEx was right on time. I'm upgrading my dehumidifier because my 30 pint per day couldn't hack it at night at all. Because
we're getting an unboxing.
When the lights go out with the cooler temperatures here, the AC isn't helping the dehumidifier anymore, and it was only a 30 pint per day. But this one's 150, so it's gonna rock.
Right on.
And took a little time to mount my pump on the wall.
Oh, I like it
Looks
up there.
nice.
Yeah, I like it better on the wall.
Nice.
And you were
Very nice.
I've got a check valve in the res, so no problem being above the res. But what was I going to say? Oh, you were talking electrical. Good conversation. Definitely. In my room, everything's at least double sized, if not triple sized, whatever. But my 240 timer is good for 8 outlets, and I'm only using 2 on that.
Yeah,
I meant to mention something as well. I've noticed with extension leads, cords, plugs, or light bulb sockets, and everything else. Over time, they go brittle, and they might be good now, but this is something you need to check and sort of give your all your plastic accessories after a while a flex. Because sometimes they'll just crack and just disintegrate in your hands.
Especially ones underneath the heavy lighting that we're using.
Yep.
Right. And I got to go through my house. I've got old outlets in there that, the low wattage doesn't really bother it, but I'm not running anything in there. Everything out here is new 20 watt out or 20 amp outlets.
That's the heat. That's the heat we put. The heat and the cold. The heat cold. That just adds that added stress. It weathers it a lot quicker than normally would.
Yeah. I'm running on 240, so the amperage is lower on my lights, and I've got a 60 amp circuit on that, and that's what runs the AC as well. The dehumidifier and the ventilation is the only thing I'm running at 120 with. But anyway, all that said, it was a cheap ass Chinese outlet, just like this one that failed. It melted luckily I found it and it didn't start a fire, and the power supply did its job, folded back the current.
And that wasn't long
Light
ago. That
like-
was just this last couple months, right?
But I should replace the one that's just like the one that failed, and I haven't done it yet. So something I need to do.
Keep your eye on it.
Your room's filling up.
Yeah.
Nice.
1 week into flower, so they're starting to stretch.
Nice skinny leaves on them. I like the look of that.
The one in the back's probably 36 inches tall from the ground, or from the top of the soil.
That's just a really
Looks
nice, clean grow space weed hopper. I really like the looks, how you get that set up. It's beautiful.
It's a pain in the ass sometimes to crawl around and wipe the floor down. I've been fighting fungus gnats, but I seem to have them under control. I've been
Nematodes for the fungus gnat, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've been running these donuts. They're BTI.
Bavaria Bossiana.
Bacillus thuringiensis.
That's it. That's what it is.
lenses. So it's BTI. And
That's helpful.
oh fuck yeah, yeah. And it's the bacteria is impregnated in the cork. They're little cork rings, and yeah, they'll break up a little bit, but the cork, kind of clings to the side of the res, and all of it floats, so it never goes down. And I never let my res get empty anyway, but it never goes down to the.
Hey, Texas, I seen somebody tying those up inside of like a pack of cheesecloth and then dropping them in there. That way shit can't escape. You could just take the cheesecloth out as one package,
You could. Yeah, I should. I got the filter on the check valve, and that one's 150 microns. So.
Or if you have any resin bags for your press, you can just toss them in one of that and hold it up.
Yeah,
with
or you can steal some pantyhose off your wife and just cut some off of that.
Yeah, she's too old to wear those.
Don't let her hear you say that.
If I buy some, they'll think I'm going to rob someplace.
Take her good silk stock.
I hung this fan upside down to get rid of it being on the floor.
Smart.
And a new fan as well, so I've got better ventilation in here.
Old sock.
I like the old sock.
Don't want to use an old sock.
Yeah, you don't even need the BT then. Just throw some old socks in your res.
I feel like I'm doing an unboxing getting this dehumidifier.
Right?
The unboxing.
I'm paranoid about the LEDs on the display, but I'll just have to cover them up. At least it was delivered right side up.
That's good.
Nice.
You don't have to let it sit for 2 days.
Right, for the
Exactly.
compressor oil to settle back.
Hopefully it was sitting that way the whole time, not just on my porch.
Yeah, that's the key there.
Oh, nice.
But I'm gonna relocate my shelf and extend it a little bit so I got better ventilation around it. It's up a little bit too high, but
Yeah.
not much I can do before it starts interfering with the lights.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you just make a lower shelf and have it in the middle of the wall instead of up at the top?
Well, my drain hole's here, so I got to keep that below so I could lower it. So it's just I'm saying I'm limited a little bit this way before it starts interfering with the light, but I got
Gotcha.
a little room.
I spent the extra bucks and got one with the built-in condensate pump, and so I just I can run the hose anywhere I want, and it pumps it out.
Mine has the pump too, and if I wanted to, I could just sit on the floor and pump it out. But they say, I don't know, Chinese shit. You never know. Use the pump, it'll go up. I got the hole there, and I'm just going to drain it.
Cool.
Hey,
But
I've seen those Berkshire. They have these real big units for like construction sites, for especially for drywall, which we do. They're these big dehumidifiers with a condensate pump. You just throw the hose out the window, but they're like $600, $700 or
Oh
something.
no, mine wasn't anything like that. Mine's just a little Midea one, the square cube ones.
Yeah,
And if you get the larger model, I forget how many pints, but
The 50.
they make a larger model. Yeah, I think it's the 50 pint one. You can get it with a condensate pump. And you just put it in pump mode and hook a little tubing onto it and run that out to a sink somewhere.
I'm gonna
Works
buy
awesome.
2 or 3. I'm gonna get 2 or 3 of them big ones and bring one into the grow room, take the other 2 to work, and have Jace write it off on my taxes for me.
There you go.
If you shop, I admit it's made in China, but if you shop, you can get them cheaper. I got this one discounted down to 177.
Nice.
But I bought the 4-year service contract, and I don't usually do that, but I might as well. It's going to get its usage.
Yeah, you're gonna put it through its paces, so it's good to have that.
Well, hopefully 150 pints a day will handle it. That's like 15 something gallons a day.
Wow.
Yeah, that should. But you got a lot of. You have to be kicking off a lot of humidity. Who fell off?
Art man.
But yeah, I was spiking above 80, and that's with my dehumidifier set at 45. So obviously the dry mode of the air conditioner was helping when the lights was on, but as soon as it went out, it weren't doing nothing. It wasn't doing nothing.
Yeah, that's always rough when the lights kick off. And you're using the AC to cool it. It goes to crap real quick.
All right, we're gonna get up to I am green whenever. If Texas, if you're done, I don't know what happened to Art, man. We usually go back to him towards the end. I always wait for it towards the end. He's always the first one here, and there's not many people here, so I kind of wait. Hopefully,
I'm done. Thank you, floor.
Alex Texas.
Cheers, guys.
Texas.
I think Arsenal has a question.
Okay.
Are they fabric pots?
No, they're not fabric pots. They're plastic pots.
That's all right. I was just checking.
Yep. 7 gallon. I think they're 14 and 11 high. 14 wide and 11 high.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Giant. You're up. I was on mute there for a second. Here, let's see.
No big deal.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect.
Okay, there you go. Thanks for coming by, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. There's a couple of cool, shows on here, and I'd like to show my girls with you guys. So
We appreciate it.
yeah, thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, this is a 55-gallon drum. We got some old Pro Mix and some Fox Farm and, some Perlite. And this is the Runts. This is the Runts candy right here. It's going kind of slow, but this is actually week 8. So I'm thinking another week or 2, and we should be good. And I got some Girl Scout cookies back here that my friend gave me. Some Fino, kind of purple, just one plant.
Oh, yeah.
This one is the sister of that. These are the brother and sister, but this one is really fluffy. Has a whole different indica look. But these are brother and sister. Well, sister and sister. So, and this thing right here is some Woke Smoke from Greenpoint Seeds. It's a sativa. It's taken forever, but it's got some nice little purple small buds. I'm happy with my shrog. This was a shrog. I had to take the net off of it because it was a whole bush pushing everybody out the tent.
A bully plant.
Yeah, so I figured it would be easier taking the shrog off now than taking it off when it's fully done, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm happy.
They're
And
fat.
this. What's that?
Oh, they're big and fat. Those fat colas stacked deep. Beautiful plants.
Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't. I think it's the bigger the pot, the organic pot. These are This plant's only 3 months old. This plant's exactly 3 months old. It will be 3 months on the 1st. So she's pretty big.
That's a huge pot you got her in. How big's that pot?
Yeah. It's a 50-gallon olive drum, a food drum, like for olives.
Wow.
Cut it in a quarter. I cut it in a quarter. And then I layered it with a bunch of organic, like leaves, mulch, sticks. And then I put the old Pro Mix on top and the Fox Farm, you know, and then I amended it and then I transplanted her. I have the before and after. This thing was only about 10, maybe 8 inches tall when I put it in here. Now it's about 3 feet tall, 4 feet.
Okay, so if you cut it in quarter, that's probably like a 10-gallon pot, but flatter and wider. That's a cool idea.
Yep.
That's a very cool idea.
Yep. And I got some holes in the bottom, and I bottom water in this pan in the AC Infinity tent. I actually bottom feed right in here for my fabric pots too. So I was a novelty grower, and I do it for fun and for medicine now for me and my girlfriend. But I've kind of stepped up my game a little bit, trying to be a little more sufficient, get better genetics. I've been breeding for 4 years, cannabis now. So
I have to say, I absolutely love meeting someone who grows completely differently from me and seeing how they have a huge amount of success too. It's just so cool how there are so many ways to grow this plant and it loves every one of them.
Right.
Those are just beautiful.
Indeed.
Right. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I put a lot of work into. I don't baby them. Like I'm giving them a dry back right now. I'm starving them. You know, I want the leaves. I want a little bit of the nitrogen to come out the plant a little bit. But I've learned it's trial by error, like everything. The past 4 or 5 years, I really have learned a lot. Just running different strands and genetics back to back, practicing techniques, you know. I don't have a lot of light. I don't use a lot of special nutrients. I make a lot of my own nutrients, and I only have 400 watts in here, but I'm getting great results.
Indeed. Really good result. Your return on investment is very good, I would presume, you know?
Yeah, and I was doing the research last couple of years on like the light bills, the cost, and it's only like, you know, $40 a month, if that, $50 a month to run it. If you're running a lot of, you know, if you're running like all your lights on high during the summertime,
Peak capacity. Yeah, like when you have your AC running at the most, and then you'll have other times of the year where you're probably at like $20 a month, you know? So it kind of work out, I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to say one thing. If anybody's a little bit older, they might remember, Green Giant. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me, guys. I'll show you guys. I got another little project up north. In the future, I'll show you guys. I have some seedlings, and I'm doing 3 different pheno hunts on 4 different strands. So I'll definitely pop up again, guys.
Good deal, man.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, nice grow, man.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Beautiful.
I've been making a lot of nutrients organic because my girlfriend she's a recovering cancer patient, so all her medicine really has to be clean. So yeah, I take a blender, or I have a construction mixer, and I throw a bunch of oyster shells in a 5-gallon bucket with bone meal, crab, and dried fish bones, and I make my own dried amendments for the organic runs, even though I do cocoa.
That is cool, man. Hey, congratulations to your girlfriend on recovering.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
deal.
Yeah, it's always a battle.
Hopefully
Always
she
a
stays
battle.
on the
Well,
healthy side. And
You got the good medicine.
that's awesome, man. Stays nice and
Yep.
clean. Hey, I want to welcome Weed
Yep.
Nerd.
Try to keep it.
I just want to let him know he's hooked up, and we see it and can hear him.
Yeah,
Hey,
cheers,
Weed
guys.
Nerd.
You guys hear me there? Everything okay?
Hey,
Yeah.
Weed Nerd.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me,
Yeah.
guys. Have a great day.
Hey, anytime,
Thank
man.
Yeah, jump on anytime. Thank you.
You know, I gotta.
I'm
give
gonna
her a
roll
call.
up. I'm gonna have a smoke session and watch the rest of the show.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right
I
on.
know.
Sounds good.
I owe an apology to my buddy Art, man. He fell out. I don't know if he had a technical issue or what,
Bye,
but
guys.
we try to go in order, and usually he has to hook up a second camera and stuff. So I give him some time, and I feel like maybe I skipped over him today and didn't get to his shit, and I apologize for that. So hopefully, if he gets time to come back, or hopefully if he figures out his technical issue, he'll be back. What's happening, Weed Nerd?
Oh, not too much here. Been a bit.
Looks like you're going strong, huh?
Yeah, for sure, man. Got that under canopy light going there, so it's
Oh, do
making a
you have
difference
under
there.
canopy lighting? I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, let me see if I can show you there. Let me put this window somewhere where you guys won't see yourselves.
What are you running? How many watts are under there?
Well, I got 1,000 watts running. Plus, I got those side lights. I got these little Chinese side lights there. They're cheaper ones.
Damn, you're all
from
in it. It does
Amazon.
look bright in there, man. They're getting lit from every angle, bottom and top.
Yeah, let me show you the bottom there. Is it this one?
Now, is how many
There we
grows
go.
you've been doing this for? There you go.
See the
Look at
awful fucking it's strobing like crazy there.
that. It is.
That's just those Chinese lights that are doing that. When I turn those off, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like I got the micros in the background there. They're kind of like V's upside down.
Wow.
If you see them in the corners there. So I made like a V to make the corner, but then I'm angled them like facing the plants a little.
Yeah.
Not straight up. You know what I mean?
I haven't seen this very much, man. Have you noticed a difference yet?
Oh yeah. Like when I used the first time, remember I had the micro under the plant like
I do.
straight.
I do.
Well, at that point I had put them in like in week 6 or something, so it was at the end of like mid flower. So there wasn't much to see on that plant. Those plants that were like right above it, but the one beside it though, it got light just on one side, and for like the whole of flower basically. And when I took those other plants off and I spinned it around, and because I'd always keep it the same direction, and I spun it around and I'm like, holy shit, it's all purple on one side. The nugs seemed a little bigger, a little more developed, and there was color. So it's like, oh shit. So I put the lamp on the other side for the rest of the flower to try and even it out, and then tried it on my next batch, which was the previous grow I just did there. And those, I saw a big difference. The nugs were bigger, the colors were the same everywhere pretty much. It's like I had no larf. Yet I had like 7 nodes worth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I should have had larf pretty much if I didn't have the lower stuff. So now I'm growing it a little more slack on the default because I got lights underneath now, so I can accommodate almost every site there without, because that's how it is right at the end. You take off a bunch of leaves to get the light to go down and hit the lower nugs at the end, right? Because it does make a difference. So now I don't really have to do that. Keep my leaves, keep my power.
Keep it all. Let them bust. That's awesome, man.
So it's a little sickening there. Let me put it back on.
What strains you got going in here?
Well, actually, I got that tall one there on the right. That's the one you ran there. Platinum Cake Cloud Cuddler crossed with Black Widow from Thunderdance.
Yeah.
Oh, man, is she a reacher? I got her snapped, every which way but Sunday there.
Yeah, she's tall.
There's just a couple that aren't snapped, you know what I mean? And they're the ones that are the tallest right now. So all the other ones are snapped sideways and angled outwards. Just
you hang your guppy upside down. I do the same thing. I just need it in there so I can read it on my phone. I don't need to look at it.
Yeah, it's crazy. The node spacing is like a foot.
Yeah.
Like, damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I
that's
thought
good.
at first they were the far red, but look at all the other ones. They're fine. So I figured, I'll leave it on because they could use the stretch to match up the other one. You know, it's just maybe it made that one a little extra stretchy. I don't know. It's my
I
first
want to say that
4X.
Cloud Cuddler cross with Black Widow strain gave us some really fat buds, and they cured up so beautifully.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good smoke.
How was the flavors were pretty nice, eh?
I liked it.
Yeah.
We had one that smelled like pineapple, but it didn't when it cured. And the other one didn't smell like pineapple, and it kind of kept what it smelled like. It's a little bit skunky, but it's very enjoyable, man. It's real smooth.
Yeah, it's got that dank flavor on the back end, like
Right.
you know.
One thing I noticed is you could take a massive hit, and it doesn't really make you want to choke too much. It doesn't
It's
fill your lungs
smooth.
up, you know. Some of those, you take a small hit, it feels like it expands in your lungs or something, but that's just not like that. Yeah, it's good stuff, Dan. We appreciate the seeds. I'm sure the weed nerd will too when he gets that in the Cantrol.
Hell yeah. I have that grapple fritter in the middle there, and I snapped some leaves off it, and holy shit, I had some like vapor rub, like mentholish, kind of piney.
Oh,
Yeah, like
Oh my god, this is like
yeah,
really
like we got like a
nice, you know?
eucalyptus smell coming
Yep.
from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I got that there, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a nice one. It's grapple
Yeah.
fritter, it's Black Widow, so we'll see there. Maybe a little
Yep,
bit
we
of
got
grape
that
in
one
there too.
too. Cool mix. If we got a package with all those in there from Dan, and well, that same week we got some regs. I can't wait to run them. The Spartan Grown sent some regs, and Fluff sent some regs. I can't remember who else. Somebody else. Was
Yeah,
like,
we have some nice seeds we want to
all 1 week.
get into some regs.
Nice. Let me show you the top here. I can actually show you right from the other corner. You know, see how high she is there? It's crazy. She's right up. Like my camera is basically a little lower than the high watermark, which is the sticker there, Doc's Cocoa for Cannabis sticker there. That's
Yeah.
like my high watermark there. If I go any higher than that, there, it's like, whoa,
Oh,
10 inches away from the light there, basically. Let's see, it's this one here. I'm right at it. Let's see if I can move it a bit there. Let's see this.
you got all kind of camera set up.
Nice.
Yeah,
this
that's
one I can
nice.
move it.
You know, I was going to put I have an extra blink camera at my house. I was going to put it on there. Someone said they could hack it from outside and look at my plants. And that's kind of, I don't doubt anyone will ever do that, but it sure kept me from putting it up there.
There it is.
Yeah.
So it's like right there, you know, that's the top zipper there for the door. So it's like, man, there's like 10 inches here.
Yeah. I see your high water mark. You're at it.
Yeah. And it's on the floor there. Like it's like, and I flipped those at day 14, week 2.
Oh, wow.
Took 15 days to show pistols, but still, I was expecting something shorter. You know? Can you do? But yeah, that's what I'm growing. And then I got the Dean Bean stuff too there. I got 5 plants in there because I thought, you know, week 2 they'll be small. You know, no.
Yeah, everybody's
Like any other grow. You know what I mean? So I got Dean Bean. I got what is it? Chem 4 crossed with Tangerine Haze. I got RS11 crossed with Lunch Money. And I got SFVOG crossed with Gold Cash Gold. So all 3 of those I'm real excited about. Not to mention Dan stuff. So good new year.
Nice mix. I've heard that Dean, everybody that's growing Dean stuff said it's fantastic. The Trop cherries and a couple other different strains. I think the Gold Cash Gold was one of his. So I know why you're excited. Everybody seems to love it.
My first one was a Trop cherry cross with Gold Cash Gold, and it was a skunky one. Like it's like wow,
Nice.
just like the skunk from the 90s there. Wow.
Yeah, I'm debating on popping that for the New Year Grow Challenge. That's one of the selections I have for popping this year.
It's a good one. I liked it. Nice big and leaf nugs and everything there. You know, almost every leaf had a nug on it. It's like what the hell?
Nice.
Extra vigor. Eh? Very horny. But that's all I gotta say about that.
There you go.
They look good, man, as always.
Yeah, thanks, man. Been
Look at
fun.
Ice and I. Them are some chunkers, huh?
Nice.
You're muted, Iceni. What strain's that?
So,
Beautiful.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's the OG Kush Hellraiser's OG Cross Exodus cheese. That was the one that was that was all by itself. The solo.
Yeah, the
one.
last one.
Yeah.
You cut it on our show and hung it up.
Yeah. I haven't really set about trimming it yet. But
It's all stuck together. It looks good.
Yeah, it's trichome shields.
Yeah. Blocking them to the end.
It wasn't the Frosties, but it's definitely a stinking fuel. It's very fuely, this one. Not much cheese. There's an underlying bit of cheese, bit of foisty funkiness, but it's mainly sort of like gas.
I wish you could see smell. Eh? Damn.
I know.
I
Like
know.
Orange glow to it. Oh man, that's all orangey. Eh?
Yeah. If you could
Like
equate a
fumes
color
coming
or a
out.
look to a smell, I agree.
That'd be cool.
I'm not great with giving people like someone told me that the one strain we grew, they was like, to me it tastes like Fruit Loops after you put it in milk, and I was like, that's a perfect example of what we're smoking. Do you remember which one
Yeah,
that
I
was?
can't remember.
I think it might have been Violet Beauregard or something, but and I was thinking I would have never thought to verbalize it like that. So when people do, I always try to remember, what it is, but I'm horrible at telling people. I'm just like, yeah, it's good weed, man.
Yeah.
You could taste it on your lips, you would like it.
Me too. It's fruity
It'll stink
nutty,
your whole
or
house
it's citrus gassy, or it's cushy. It's about my categories, or blend of all three. God knows.
That's true, Brian 420. Many of us have had height issues. I think that's one of the things you see with a new grower in a tent. They'll veg too long, not really knowing what a bolt is about and how the plant will react to the lighting schedule, And so they start picking their light up and pushing it through the top of the tent. And I agree with you, shorter veg. I like the shorter veg. And I think Weed Nerd alluded to it a little bit that with those shorter veggies, it does take a little longer to see pistils, but at the same time, you have a little more control, I think,
Yeah, there's a limit to it. You know what I mean? Like there's one that didn't pop out till day 9, or actually was 9 days after the other 4. And so that
Okay.
one was on day 9 when I flipped, which was like, that's under 2 weeks. It's a week and a few days, 2 days.
Yeah.
So, and that one still, and it showed pistols first, which was kind of encouraging.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that means that not every strain will do that. You know what I mean? Because I assumed it was because they were too young. You know what I mean? But maybe not, because like I said, that other one was day 9. It was 9 days earlier. Was it 9 days? 5 days. It was day 9, and it was 5 days earlier.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? And it then, like, it was the first to show. So it's not like it was 5 days later to show. You know what I mean? Like that, in theory, is what should have happened if, you know what I mean? So I think it's strain dependent. Some of them you'll flip them and it'll take 2 weeks, and some, but maybe it is just a little longer, right? Because they all showed at the same time. One was a lot younger, 5 days, but they pretty much took 15 days, all of them.
Oh, some will take 21 days. You're almost thinking, is it actually going to do anything?
Well, it makes me want to try it from seed now, just because that didn't quite prove my theory there. I was going to do it from seed, but then I figured it's a waste of light hours if it's not going to flip for 3 weeks or 2 weeks.
It does, it's just going to run a little bit longer, in my opinion. It's not going to finish on, at the same amount of time.
Less light development, slower. Because me, I gave it 24 for 2 weeks, 20 and 4 night. So there was not much nighttime.
Speaking of height, and that just brought back the memories of growing in a 5x5 with a 600 HPS and thinking about how much headroom you've got. That was always, that's why I got rid of my tent, basically, and went straight into I can't be dealing with this. You can't grow, you can't grow anything substantial Not in my opinion. Not with a HPS in a tent.
Depends on the strain. You want the shorties, right? Don't
Yeah.
stretch.
You have to literally pick the plants that you're going to grow. That, like when they used to say, "Oh, indoors only," but now if you're growing in a room or whatever, you can doesn't really matter if you get a tall, stretchy one.
You go sideways.
Well, see, that's why I got that Gorilla tent too, because it has that extra foot or two up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There's XYZ. You gonna let him in?
Yes.
He fell off.
Press the wrong damn button, guys. Sorry. So,
No, you're good. I gotta mute for 1 second and take a call. Give me 1 second.
okay. Hey, we
So you press the-
I like your growth.
Thanks, man.
Sorry,
Good
Jace.
there.
I was going to say, XY, you pressed the wrong button. Did you activate the assassin droid?
No,
Kill
man.
plants now, eh? It's like, no.
No, don't do that one. Yeah.
That's the
there's
female,
like-
no.
No, you're supposed to take out the males.
The emergency herm button, eh?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, gas is a plant.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Behead everything.
So we nerd, you got light all the way around that. It's like it's growing inside a light tube almost.
Well, it's the next step is to just have wall-to-wall lights. That's what I was thinking the other day. There, it's like, man, tents are going to evolve to be the fixture.
Like
It
looks like
going to be the LEDs. They're going to be right on the tent wall. They don't need reflective material. It's light.
like a Dyson sphere.
Yeah,
And then you can dim it.
See
You know
a
what I mean?
issue with too much light. Sometimes you want to have the light. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. Yeah, you need the light above because the plants need to reach and grow up, and that's how you'll get material and production. But when the plant is surrounded by light, it's not got that encouragement to grow out or up because it's efficient. It doesn't need to go anywhere. It's going to stay pretty much short, compact, and not grow.
That's what you want. You want a short plant, a short, stocky, fat, juicy mama, and you get a whole bunch of them.
That can create issues, in my opinion. You need a little bit of
because you could still make it like top heavy. You know what I mean? Because when I'm thinking that tent light, it would be completely programmable there, a bit like those GML lights, but on a whole other level.
I think it's one of
it could sense distance from the wall, and you know what I mean? Okay, we're giving it 500 lumos at the leaf, no matter where the leaf is. You know what I mean?
Do you remember when they introduced those bud chambers about 20 years ago? That was like just a surrounded water,
well, they do it small scale, those space buckets.
They don't produce, I don't think.
They wrap them with light there.
Well, it's up to you. I'm just saying, I'd like to, yield for yield and plant size and everything else. I think you might produce some quality stuff and everything else. Don't get me wrong, but I think you might be lacking on what do you call it, leaf material. Because the plant's not going to want to grow. Yeah, it's going to be like, oh, I'm fine. I don't need to grow. I've got everything I need. I'm quite content. Whereas when the plant has that, it grows and it pushes, it builds on itself to actually reach the light.
Yeah, but if it has the light, it doesn't have to reach. And that's the only difference. It's still going to grow. It's just not going to reach. No stretch. Be so compact. There'd be node on top of node on top of node. That'd probably be a bad thing because it gets so dense. You get no air in there. It's like one solid nug. You know what I mean? One big a cola tree.
Yeah, that's when you start catching bud rot.
Yeah, well, exactly. There's no airflow at all. Yeah. So I see your point, but that's overdoing it.
Well, that's plenty of light you got there, weed nerd. And you say your bottom's basically not larvae. You get dense buds on the bottom.
Yeah, like if I was not lighting the bottom, I'd have way less sites under there. Right now, I got sites right down to the rim of the cages I have on them. There's nug sites right down to there, and I didn't pluck any shoots after it passed that ring. So there's a lot of like side branches and stuff. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see how fat it gets here. I'm testing it there. I'm going extreme with the nug sites there. So I should have larf, but I'm hoping I won't. You know what I mean? Because of
Go
that.
big.
Like, well,
Go
because
big or go home.
I'm pumping 1190 watts on it. And a
Are you adding
4x4.
any
That's nuts.
CO2?
No. 600, 800. Just
Okay.
with me there and my cat.
Okay.
So it gets down to 4 sometimes if I have to really open the window there. But
Yeah,
usually
I'll
it's around
drop
6,
out
7.
on you.
Yeah. So that's helping a little. And I got the far reds there, so I got a good percentage of far reds, and I do the 8 minutes at the end there. And
Okay.
You said your main light's a GML?
no, it's a Mars FC. All my whites are Dr. Coco wins. So there's 2 Mars and a Micro. And
Yeah,
then I
that's
got
right.
those GML far reds. That's what I got from GML.
It's hard for
Yeah.
me to buy a light unless like it's been third-party review. That's why I love his reviews, because that really influences me to make my purchase. And I'm with you. I like to stick with the Mars lights. You get pretty good reviews on him.
Yeah,
From him.
it's a good light, and you know, I want it. What else can
Yeah,
you
it's
do?
the best price.
You
Free.
imagine the best
Free.
part of the review is you get to take it home with you. It's a good review,
Well,
man.
you were winning so many of them damn lights. It's like you were
Well, I
in
got
his
3.
head.
I got 1 though, only 1 with the light reviews. Everyone thinks, oh, you know, I won 3 light right now. No, I won 2 because I best grow journal, and then I got this one from a light review draw there.
Yeah.
So the other ones I kind of earned them.
Yeah.
Have you thought about adding a UV or far red or infrared?
Yeah, like I got the far reds on there. So I got 2 GML 730 add-on bars there. They're at each corner of the 7 or the FC 6500 there. So they're basically angled in an X pattern. So basically the one that's on the far left is aimed towards the far right's corner, canopy wise, and the other one the same, so that it makes like a crisscross pattern. And I kind of see it there when the lights go out, because it's just that for 8 minutes, and I can see how lit up it is. You know? That's pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't really light much up though. You don't see much in the 730s.
Oh yeah, with the camera you do.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It turns pink, red there.
Yeah,
I did
it's
it
like,
on IG there, where I unzipped the tent. They come in because I had them running 2 minutes before lights on, and I ran in, and sure enough, it was still on, just the reds, and then poof, the lights come on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But you'll see there, it's pretty red. Like you see it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about the camera. The camera does pick up 730 very well.
Oh, you're right too.
You always
Right,
do
too.
too.
It's just in the white you don't see it. If you have your whites are on,
Okay.
forget it. But if it's just them in the dark, oh yeah, it's super red. That's nice.
Yeah. It's about
Let's see.
940 above 900 nanometers. You can't see. I think.
Yeah, well, 780, 800 there. That's where the infrared cams start kicking in there, and you can't really see that there. It's very, very dim red.
You can see the early, because there's the 850 nanometer infrared. You can see that with your naked eye. You can see the little red light.
Well, I think that's bleed, meaning the main frequency is high that we can't see.
Yeah, see the light, but you can see the emitting diode. But you can't
Exactly.
on
It's
can't
got
on the
bleed
900.
down in the visible range. You know what I mean? Like mine, I think they're lower. They're like 800 nanometer, but it's visible. I see the light, so it's got to be lower. You know what I mean? There's like a 660 has 730 in it, so they're the whites. Like I
Yeah,
measure
but
the
no-
far red, and with my far reds off, and I'm getting 4 U-moles. It's like I flip my lights on, and I got 8. Like, oh, okay, so I can see that there's still some there bleeding from the regular diodes. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the inverse of what happens with those infrareds, and they're in 800, 850 nanometer range, but the full, like the wideness of that red is right down to 730. It's just, it's not very strong at that level where you could see it so dim. You know? And some
That seems to be the move with the grow light companies, is to incorporate, far red and UV with their light fixtures. And I've also seen them doing the tunable spectrums. Like I know the GML lights, they have like 60 preset programmable spectrums. And VivoSun just came out with one, and it only has 3, which honestly that's enough. So you have one for veg, or one for seedling, one for veg, and one for flower, and it basically just adjusts the blue and red ratio.
That's great.
So I just asked, what do you call it, flies on here. I got my light off. I said, sling me one of those controllers, because I want the ability, even though the light is what they call 4K, so it's good for flower and veg. I would still like the ability just to knock off the red whilst I'm vegging.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at with my
Blue
clone
light.
tent. I'm trying to find a light
Yeah.
that's just like super heavy on the blue. You still need red though. I mean, there's still a ratio there,
Yeah, you got some in your white diodes, but to knock off them 660s, in my opinion, whilst you're vegging, just to give it that little bit more of a bluish
It'd be nice.
daylight spectrum. In my opinion, that's the only downside I can see with my light is it's too orange to veg.
Or you get an add-on blue, right? That's the fix for those whites, but then that's an extra fixture.
Yeah, you just like the ability just to be like, not you switch off the red,
More money.
Hoping I can do it with a controller.
No, it's exactly. If it's not all together, then it's a pain in the butt.
My Photon Tech has both 660 and 730 nanometer diodes built into it. And as it's aging, it's got to be, I think, 4 years. I got it when it first came out. Anyway, as it ages, the efficiency of the white diodes is going down faster than the efficiency of the 660 and 730 nanometers. So the percentage of red light is now way too high, which is great in flower, but during the stretch, it just they explode. I haven't been able to grow a plant that didn't hit the top of the tent since the last year. So I'm thinking I might try to open it up and see if I can rewire it and put a separate switch on for the 660 and 730s.
I
You
think
should be
they're in
okay though, Bert.
series.
37,000 hours is 4 years on 24 hours a day.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's
exactly.
not
I
even-
don't think the efficiency overall has declined much, but it's just the relative efficiencies of the white and the red diodes has declined differently, which means
There's a
that
difference, yeah.
which means that the total percentage of red is going up, and it's exceeded that. Was it 25% or something that the plant wants in those reds?
Do you have a far red meter? Because you can measure it.
I don't. That's a good point.
That's why I bought one, just because I got those damn lights. Like, there's no way to know if they're working. My meter doesn't even go past 700. So it's like I had to find something to measure it. You know what I mean? And sure enough, there was something that wasn't too bad on Amazon. I could send you the link there, Coco for Cannabis.
Cool. That'd be
That's
great.
cool
Thanks.
to know. Because I know that the 730s are like the whites. They're not like the 660s. They're not 4.2 or whatever efficiency. They're more like the whites. So those should be fine. It's just the 660s that are going to be
660s. Yeah.
fading
And it has a
differently.
bunch. It has a bunch of 660s in it for the time that light came out.
Yeah, it was a high one. I remember Doc saying it was like 20% there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was like 20% or maybe even a little bit more before, and now the white has
30.
declined more, and so it's probably
Less.
26% or something, and it's just enough that the plants stretch to the ceiling. So
It's the phosphorus that wears out. It's not actually the diodes that are going.
Right. Yeah. The phosphors are declining, so you're getting less of the white light out per watt. But with the 660s that don't have phosphor, it's just a direct LED light. Those are.
Oh, I wonder about that, eh? When the spectrum as it ages, when phosphor starts degrading or whatever, does that change the spectrum on them? Does it start going redder, bluer?
Well,
you know what I mean?
even if that spectrum doesn't change, which it might, it would probably go redder because that's usually the directions that older things get. But that's just who knows. But
that would make it even worse.
if it declines and at all, and the reds don't, then your total light output is going to get redder.
It's gonna, no matter what, it's getting redder. If it went bluer, then it might kind of counteract it and even it out. You know what I mean?
Well, all I can tell you is that with my photon techs, as they're aging, it's not getting bluer.
No,
Are you gonna upgrade your light there, Burke, or are you gonna run
I haven't
until the
just.
wheels come off?
Oh, I haven't decided yet. As soon as I have my wife's studio moved up into the loft, then I'll have more space to expand, and then I can decide exactly what tents I'm going to run. So I'm not going to make
Oh,
any
so you
big
got
changes.
future plans coming up. What are you in now? You in a 4x4?
No, right now it's a meter by meter, so it's 3.3 by 3.3. And I have a 4x2 that I'm not running right now, but that I usually run as well. And I just got a little 2x2x4 um, for my clones. Probably I saw what who was it? Someone was on earlier. Jace, who had that clone tent that it looked like a 2x2x4 on its side. So I think I'm going to try to do that. So eventually,
Yeah,
yeah, my
yeah.
plan is to run the 3x3 or the 3.3 by 3.3, the 4x2 for the moms, and then the 2x2 for clones and seedlings.
Okay, so that's a pretty similar setup to what I'm doing. I've got the two 2x4s, and I just got that Gorilla Clone tent. So that's a 24 inch by 24 inch by 32 inch. So it's a
Okay.
little rectangular. AC Infinity makes one. It's a 36 inch. So you can actually do it two ways. You can lay it sideways like I had, or you can stand it up and make it taller. So it's 3 foot tall.
Yeah.
Honey, I
So
shrunk the grower.
Yeah, yeah. The 4 foot one is nice. I have that standing up right now, but I don't need all that height. Right now it has my mom's in it. Once they're out in the 4x2, and I'm only using it for clones and seedlings, I don't need 48 inches. 24 inches will be fine for height.
All right, so now you got your little helper right there. Is that your new grower?
Yeah, he's in training.
Getting ready for the
I don't know if
Zoom
he's a helper or hindrance at the moment.
I sometimes to teach him how to water. She'll be in there working him.
He's like,
He
no.
probably likes to go in there. He likes to go in there and play with those worms, don't he?
He does. He does like the worms, don't you?
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Hey there.
we
He
all
knows how
see
to
you.
turn the camera on to himself.
Oh yeah.
I see
The
the
next
doggy.
generation of growers.
The future of the world.
The timeless art of husbandry.
So, yes, what seeds to pop on the New Year's Grow Challenge? That's the question
It
that's
is
burning on
the
my mind.
I think I'm gonna do some Amy wine cheese for my son. I got some of those. I saw his eyes get big right there.
Nice. Yeah, we struggle with that too. We're not sure either, and we're not sure we have all the kinks out of our grow. So this is experimental. We're going to go with different water, and we got some brand new nutrients that may have been giving us trouble that we didn't know about. So
There's J5.
I wanted to tell everybody thank you so much for all of your healing thoughts and prayers, and it's great to be back. It's awesome to be here with you guys. I'm feeling a lot better.
Yeah, great to have you back for sure. It's definitely not the same without you. Smott's been doing everything you can. He's been hanging in there.
Yes, and I stopped those crazy pharmaceuticals, and I feel so much better. It's crazy how medicine that was supposed to help me, it made me really sick. So I'm back on track, and I'm ready to get this behind me, and the future is bright. I get to grow with all you awesome folks in the new year, and it's going to be great. I'm excited about the New Year's Grow Challenge for sure. I always like their side challenge, which is one of my favorites this time around, and that's the Solo Cup Challenge. So even if you want to get in and grow with us that way, it's awesome. It's going to be fun.
Take clones.
Taking clones,
Run
yeah.
from seed.
Smart and I are thinking
Yeah.
about breaking out our 3-gallon air pots for this round.
Yeah.
We're kicking it around.
Damn, you going big.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna run 3 gallons on my next one. I was running those 1 gallons, and they're pretty good. But I'm just used to growing bigger plants, so it's harder for me to get into a smaller plant mode. You know what I mean?
We got
Yeah,
we got
the
that
3
27
gallons.
by 27. I might just do one plant in there in the 3 gallons. See how it'll do.
Yeah, the 3 gallons, you can grow some massive plants, but man, you can only get like 2 of them in a 4x2. They just get too freaking big.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I want to let everybody know that you're all invited to come back on Tuesday night. We're gonna have that kickoff party.
And the New Year's Eve party.
The New Year's Eve party, and we're going to be dropping our seeds for the New Year's Grow Challenge once we figure out what seeds we're going to do. Plus, it feels like you guys haven't seen our plants in a minute. I've been posting regular videos on my YouTube channel, but if you haven't tuned in to check any of that out, we'll be showing our plants on Wednesday. They are looking a lot better. We flipped on December 22nd, so they're bolting and they're looking nice. So look forward to sharing that with you and dropping new seeds and
partying up. I'm getting some champagne, so I'm gonna have my ears will be red. I'll be howling the bed. Yeah.
Oh no.
It's on.
We're mixing it with orange juice. We're gonna be a mimosa.
Yeah.
Mimosa.
Oh, yeah. So I think I'm going to do some Gold Cash Gold crossed, I think, with Trop Cherry. I'm going to do a couple of those. And then I'm probably going to try, I got some Velvet Punch from the Cheap Home Grow from Jack Green Chalk. So I might throw a couple of those in and see what they do.
We've seen that grown a few times on the show, the Velvet Punch. I know Seed Person grew it. I know Scrubs and Shrubs grew it, and who else grew that? Did
XYZ, didn't he?
Artman.
No.
Artman might have grew it.
Oh, maybe not. You just grew the Trop Cherry. That's right.
Yeah, the Trop Cherry.
Scrubs and Shrubs grew it outside. It got explosive, but
it's hard to keep track of what y'all grow. Y'all grow so much nice stuff.
Oh yeah, you do too. You do too.
I have no idea what I'm going to grow on for New Year's Grow Challenge. I do. Well, actually, I have one idea. I have to grow baked apple again for my medical patient because that works for the nausea really well.
Oh, cool!
Nice.
But so I'll grow another plant of that. Other than that, I don't know. I got to get if I can get the moms healthy enough, I might be growing clones, but then I'd probably start them later because I got to get the moms healthy enough to take cuttings and root them and all that. So then if I do that, it'll be a Dark Queen number 8 and what's the other one? And Spritzer. They're both from Capricorn is a farm out in Oregon that does medical clones. So I have no idea what they're like, but so far everything I've grown from them has been absolute fire.
Cool.
I'm with J5 there. Grewer, barely newer, eh?
Yeah.
Barely newer. Brand new one.
I want new shit, man, right? That's what I'm thinking. Like, what could these seeds possibly create? And it's like, man, then when they pop and come up, you're thinking there's a little genetic stick of something new I've never had. I want to see what it is, how it builds. Some will let you down, some break your heart. Some you wish you would have added more.
Grewer barely newer reminds me of some of the smaller solo cup challenge grows that we've had where we only got like a small amount to smoke. And I'm like, oh, Grewer, but barely newer.
Exactly. Come and go.
Yeah. I got to work on something for Burke, but he's asking for some weird questions. I wonder if he's getting in the solo cup challenge.
No, actually, I had not thought of that at all, but that's a good point.
Oh, okay.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Thanks for suggesting it. No.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do a solo cup. I've never grown in a solo cup, and yeah.
I love growing in solo cup. It's so much fun. It's silly, but it's amazing that you can grow a plant from seed to harvest in a solo cup and actually get a decent cola out of it.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I got a baby stone. I could probably pull it off,
Baby
little
stone.
stone at the bottom there.
Yeah, a little tiny little bucket. I mean, the size of
Watering
a
it 7
cup.
times a day there. Shit.
Yeah, I've got one of
Yeah.
those little teeny tiny, the what do they call it? The Ultra Whisper air pump or whatever it was.
Hmm.
That is hardly has any volume at all, but it doesn't make any noise. That would be perfect to do a little DWC
I had
in
done
a solo
remember
cup.
I did that glass jar one, a mason jar.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
put all the plant, well, just the one plant in the mason jar, but I bought these little stones because the big ones are too big and I don't want to break the jar. I figure, oh, I'll put these little, like they were 1 inch round there, little pucks. That'd be perfect. Just put one puck in there. Good to go.
You know what? You may have convinced me to do DWC in the solo cup challenge.
I mean,
Oh,
what
I'm
can go
throwing in the
wrong?
towel then.
Oh no,
Well,
I am
part-
terrible with DWC. The last time I did DWC, ended up with root rot and my poor plants suffered. And I am not a good DWC grower. So
Bucket
doing it in
flushes are a breeze. You know what I mean? You can do it
that's
every
right.
day.
In a solo cup, it's no problem. Yeah, exactly. I can just, I could do. Maybe I'll do ebb and flow in a solo cup.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Just like
continuous
ours.
flow of perfect nutrition. You know what I mean? Like cocoa, but always on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Art, you know? I think Art's on a
But
timer too, though, right? He waters a
Yeah.
bit like cocoa there on a timer. But
Yeah, I
wonder, just a
mean,
continuous drip there, like an IV or something. You know what I mean?
that's what I did. That's what I did the first time we had the solo cup challenge or the party cup challenge. I got a enteric feeding bag and filled that up with my newts, and then had the tube coming down and adjusted it to just do, like, if I did a drip every 10 seconds, then that was just the right amount to keep getting outflow from the
Oh, because you got
solo
outflow.
cup.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
got to think about because if I add something, then I have to take it out. So I'd have to
right.
put another bag on the bottom to suck it out
So
at the same rate. So
Well, no,
the
you just
water
have to.
stays at the same level. You know
You
what I mean?
just have to put it in a tray. Just let the water overflow the top.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I could do that.
Hey, Burke, I remember when you did that IV bag hanging. That looked so cool in the tent. It added an extra aesthetic view with that hanging in there. All technical. It's really awesome.
Well,
I like when things like that go down in the tent.
we took that
Well-
idea that Burke had and we transferred it to XYZ Vector when he tried
yeah,
to do,
yeah.
you remember that?
Yes,
Clones.
yes.
He tried to do air layering on the plant with some of that and shit, and we remember that XYZ?
Oh yeah. That was that. Yeah, I did the air layering, and then that was last New Year's challenge.
Oh, there's the bag.
Yeah,
There's the bag.
That's so cool.
I still have my bags too.
Yeah, bust them out, fellas. Put them in a dark sack so they don't get nasty and run with it, right?
Yeah, that was the mistake I made last time. I didn't put it in a dark sack, and it kept growing algae, which then was clogging up the tubing, and it would stop dripping at all. So
Pennies to the rescue, eh? They might cut it. Who knows?
Now I can't decide to try to do a small DWC cup or just try to do a cup and use a low flow emitter on it.
Oh, if I know you, it's going to be a Borg looking thing there. Fully automated little cup there.
Your plant
Little
can't be
robot to pick it up and
assimilated.
everything.
Yep. Well,
That wouldn't be too
Yeah.
hard, you know. Small stuff.
no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
Your little,
I mean,
your
The
little
plant gets big though. The cup's small, but the plant's huge.
got a soil sensor sticking out of it half the size of the cup.
I don't think I could run a soil sensor on that. It'd be too big.
You know, I learned a lot with the first party cup challenge over at Code for Cannabis on how large you can, a plant you can grow out of a second cup. And I had modified my cup. I might have to break that old modification out.
The air pot.
I made like a
Yeah, the spider looked like the
makeshift air pot.
Hellraiser.
Yeah,
The
it looked
Hellraiser.
pretty wild.
It did look like Hellraiser.
It really did.
full of spikes. There was straws basically. It was a good idea.
Straws, yeah.
You cut holes
And
in it and
I
put straws in.
was pretty impressed with the root mass that was evenly distributed, so it did work somewhat.
Indeed.
So
Yeah, just
could
like
I
an air pot.
3D print the solo cup so I could make it like a miniature air pot?
Absolutely, you can.
Oh,
looks
The
like your
only rule
picture.
is
XYZ.
it has to be a certain size, and all the roots have to be inside. I forget it whether it's what size it is. 20 ounce. So 20 ounce cup basically. You
Yeah,
got
you
a
can
20
20
have
ounce
ounces
cup,
size.
and the roots have to all be inside it. That's it.
That's
Okay.
it.
I wonder what would happen, man. Mine will bust a cup.
I mean, you could probably actually, if you just took one of the air pot propagation cells and cut it in
Yeah.
half, because that's a liter. If you cut that in half, that would give you 500 ml, which is pretty close to 20 ounces.
Oh
No,
shit!
I
My
have-
3 ounce, my 3 inch net pot will probably fit perfectly on that solo cup, dude.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, I have like 25 of those little propagation cells. I haven't been using them
Yeah.
lately. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
I'll cut one down.
Oh man, I'd
Yeah.
have to mount the net pot and on top of the cup, so that the roots are just, you know what I mean? Like the bottom of the
Yep.
cup is the top of the bottom of the net pot is the top of the cup, so that the rest is just for roots. Because or else I'm losing half the net pot or the
You're
cup
right.
to the net
Yep.
pot. That's crazy.
Yeah, you just
Oh, I
need a
guess it could
lid.
grow
You need a
into the
lid.
net pot.
Right. You need a lid for the cup that has a hole in it. That and then the lid has a hole in it for the bottom of the net pot. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't water from the top. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can
Right.
put the water like right into that neoprene cover there, and so it waters the roots from the top. But it wouldn't even need to be watered. They just fill the cup every day. But that bag idea there, the IV, that'd be a good way to have it always, so you don't have to do the flush. It's flushing itself every 2 days. Basically, it's new nutrients. It's a whole new cup of water there.
Yeah, you just gonna have to put some bennies in it and try to keep that bag chilled.
Yeah, that bag needs to be replaced with something that's cold and out of the light.
Yep.
That's definitely an option. Just the tube. You just need the tube with the little, roller valve there. That's really all it is. The bag is not necessary.
Yeah, you can always paint the bag.
Yeah, XYZ. I'm expecting to see your IV bag with a Peltier chiller attachment on it, and an automatic dosing pump for the drip, so that you can precisely measure how many microliters of water you are putting into this cup.
I got all the parts to do it, Burke, and
I know you do.
I had too much time.
You can definitely be in the running to win the biggest plant, because if you're using an air pot, they take a lot more water. They dry out a little quicker. So you'll get that thing running on an IV support system.
Now I think I'm going to use the main fertigation system. I've pretty much, I can make one pot, take a lot less water, get a lot less water. Yeah, I don't think I've spent too much time and money building that out. I don't think I'm gonna put a little doser pump in and a whole other Peltier res. I do have all the parts though, but man, that's just too much time.
That's part of the challenge, is to challenge ourselves, and I think like my wife was alluding to earlier, when you first grow a plant, because most people don't flower out in solo cups, so when you do it kind of on the side as a little experiment or a fun thing to do, you learn a lot about the plant and how, if you do keep the roots happy, even in a small cup, it helps you understand, especially if you're a cocoa grower, the correlation between pot size and plant size, and how one can vastly outgrow the other. You guys were mentioning about 3-gallon pots. That's all I think a cocoa grower would ever need. You can pretty much grow, 1.5 pounds on a 3-gallon cocoa pot at a well-managed cocoa grow. when you're at that size, it makes it nice to be able to manage the salinity at the root zone and everything. I feel like 3 gallons are precise. You can do a lot with that, but growing in a solo cup does bring some realization as to what they can endure. How high salinity can get before you get tip burn and shit, and it opens your eyes to a few things. The resiliency is one, because I know we're hand waters. You can just imagine that thing was dry as a popcorn fart.
Oh yes. Well, I'm digging through my little propagation cells, and yeah, I picked the one that's getting cut. That's gonna be so small though.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
there's a new channel in the chat there, Cannabis 101. It's going to be a new show, I guess. I'm reading about it here as we go. So if everybody wants to subscribe, it's going to be our buddy Salt and Sea Seeds, if I read correctly, and somebody else doing a show. That's also Mr. Green Thumb. Green Finger. I got it mixed up there. And make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, he has a green thumb.
Robert Green Thumb, yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe if you're into that, and I think it'll be a good quality content there, and I think a lot of us would appreciate. So it's something else you can get into.
Very cool.
Support the Gromies.
Done.
Next, I'll find out their shows at noon on Sundays.
Oh no!
Why is there only 3 people here today?
Where's everybody at?
Oh crap, Smart! You cannibalized your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Cut
Rising
this down.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Little propagation cell. So right about here, you think?
I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna wrap it solo size?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna shrink this thing down because this is a liter.
Be
And
within
Burke was-
regulation.
Well, if I cut it in half, it will be in regulation. So
You don't have a solo cup somewhere? Just wrap it with that.
Yeah.
oh no, I love these things. These things are badass. They grow so. The roots that come out are just insane.
Can you wrap it concave a bit though, like our solo cup is? I guess you'd have to measure the volume somehow and do the math.
No, I'm just gonna cut it in half. Right, I'll count the knobs and halfway up. Just cut it, take it, unwrap it, cut it. Oh, they won't stick out of this. It will air prune.
Sure.
No,
Big
cool.
hairy mop on the back.
You see those roots, man. That's what you get with these air pots.
Yeah, they air prune.
Those would be cool for a little sea of green looking. Well, they wouldn't even be little. You could grow like a 3-foot sea of green with a bunch of those,
Yeah, because like you can't find the solo cup size, the 20-ounce sized air pot. They're just not there. They don't make them. No, they don't.
I guess you can overlap it. You can go like two circles instead of one.
You could.
Can you make it too thick?
Yeah, you can go a little bit more wrapped, but the problem is the bottom won't fit then.
Yeah,
it'll be too. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta kind of stick with it.
Yeah, shit. You gotta make a bottom. What if you put a net pot upside down?
Cheers,
net
Bert.
pot. Cheers,
net
Bert.
pot. That would make a nice bottom for it.
Yeah.
A little 3-inch net pot there.
Yeah.
And one thing else people I think sometimes forget when they first put their air pots together is you want it face. There's a hump, a natural hump in the bottoms of those things, and you want the hump facing up. So that the water rains out. If you flip it upside down, you create like a small little cup right in the center where it can hold water. Not that would be detrimental, but they're made to be the other way. Plus, I found when you're packing them, it kind of smashes it from being concave up inside to more of a flatter bottom, and if you have it the other way, you're kind of exacerbating the dip in the bottom, if that makes sense.
Well,
what you could do is take a solo cup and fill it with cocoa and then put that into your propagation cell. That would be the same volume, right? And then you know where to cut it or how much it'll hold.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll just
They've
take a
been,
tape measure and cut it down in half. And the other reason, Smart, you bring up a good point with the shape of the drain or the bottom. I read that the actual angle, how you point it up, is to actually make the roots deflect to the side, like when it hits
that's
it.
probably right. Yeah, I would say that's probably 100% correct.
But the water's
Yeah,
gonna
because
drip off
those
the roof.
Chinese air pots I got, those 1 gallons, they have like a cavity in the center. And when I took them apart, the roots had like collected in there, and it was like a spool of yarn, and I could pull it out, and it was like a foot long of roots
Yep. And that could
just
have
stringing it.
if you would have ran into any sort of problems, I feel like that's an area where it could get hypoxic and stagnate some water and start to trip off some nasty molds or something. You know, maybe not, but I figure I need everything on my side as much as I can. So I found I did it wrong once.
Yeah, we learned by just doing it the wrong way. Another thing is they go together the right way, and then there's every other wrong way,
Yeah.
which even the top, they have the holes aren't, they're just
They're
cavities, they're solid for a reason, and you don't want that on the bottom.
Which we did
No.
that.
One time we did that, we did it wrong one time, but we learned real quick.
Everything run out the sides before we go through the media.
Yeah, I made that mistake too. You set me straight on that. You're like, no, you got those ones with the holes in the top. I'm like, yeah. He's like, nope, that's wrong. Flip it.
Yeah, we learned the hard way doing a whole grow like
I think
that.
we had ours inside
Yeah.
out, upside down, and the
Down.
bottoms in wrong at one time. You know, maybe not all at the same time, but we did it all wrong.
We should not
Yeah.
have smoked that blunt prior to doing all the pot ups and assembling the pots.
Well, I remember I was bitching on one of your shows. I'm like, I can't get this cocoa to take any water. It's just kind of flowing out the top. And you're like, well, first off, son, your air pot's backwards. You need the other side flipped around. Second, take a skewer and stab it. And I sat there and stabbed it, and finally I could get some water to go through it. But man,
Ain't that a bitch?
yeah, you do it wrong and you learn real quick. Oh, don't mind the cutting sounds. I'm gonna try to cut this AirPod. Okay.
Yeah, overgrowing roots is a thing. I guess it's one of those good problems to have, you know, when your root ball gets so compact, it's hard to get water through them. I always find it's a good thing to have. I feel like if you didn't have that, you wouldn't have the biomass above and you would be yearning for more. So when they're packed, you're pretty much packed on top. But
plus, like in the DWC grows, you see those massive roots.
Yeah.
Or like how Art Man grows, he had that mat of roots that was, I had never seen anything like it.
Looked like a quilt.
Oh yeah.
It was
Even the
crazy.
2 gallons there, if I went too long and it was a big plant there and it was getting too tight in there, it would start to do that root bounding thing there where it would start to, it's like it's strangling itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's to wrap around itself there, and then all of a sudden everything gets real tight and nothing gets in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I think I might up bucket a few of them there. They're getting tight.
I think Brian's onto something because we often overgrow the space, our tent. You know, we commit it to perfect environmental conditions, lighting, everything, and then boom, before you know it, you have to go in and trim and lollipop and do things because essentially we're overgrowing our space on purpose. And with the roots, I guess we don't have that choice. We can't go in and just chop a few off like it's leaves. You know, not in our setups anyhow. And I guess something we never really thought. Yeah, root bundling or girdling or something. I've heard of that. It does choke itself out.
It does the same thing in DWC as it does in a small pot there. It'll wrap around itself there, go around and around and around. You see it there when you take it out of the pot. It's like, wow, what happened here? But it's got nowhere to go. You know? I just keep
that's the heart of the plant, you know. That's the absolute heart and soul of it. You know, without good
And as it
roots.
grows fatter, it becomes a thicker branch. Then it's still in that same circle, so that means it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Choke itself out. It's like
Yeah.
a horn growing back into the eyeball of an animal. You know, its own self is killing it.
Yeah. Or an overgrown nail for a cat there. Starts to poke into the little pad there. It'll curve right around and poke itself. You know what I mean?
Yep. We're down to the last 5 minutes here, gang. We go around, tell everybody goodbye, where they can find you. Had a few new faces in the chat today. Wanted to tell them welcome, and hopefully you'll come back. Tell your friends. We usually have the link pinned up there if you'd like to join sometime, smoke a joint, ask questions, give advice, show your grow, or just plain old hang out. We usually have shows on Sundays at noon and Wednesdays at 7. Those are Eastern times, and they're usually 2 hours long. This week, we're having a special Tuesday night show for New Year's Eve and for the New Year's Grow Challenge kickoff, Cocoa for Cannabis. So we'll be dropping seeds with a few of our friends. And we invite everybody to come by and check it out if you're up and hanging out. And even if you're not dropping seeds, come have a good time and smoke a joint with us. Watch the ball drop. Other than that, I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, watch the seeds drop.
The seed drop.
The seed drop.
Yeah.
Should be exciting. We hope everybody can make it.
Yeah, and we'll say our goodbyes starting with the way they're lined up here on my screen. And first would be XYZ Vector.
Well, I look forward to seeing you guys on the New Year's Eve, and I'm gonna try to rig up something cool to drop some seeds.
Sweet.
11 p.m. Eastern time. That's when we're having that show.
11 p.m. is when we'll start.
At least 11 to 1. You know?
Yeah, we'll run that till
I think the one year we stayed for like 3 hours. Everybody kept coming, and we had a good time. Before we knew it, it had slipped by. But other times wasn't. So we'll see how it goes. But looking forward to it. Up next, Weedner DWC.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thanks for having me. It's been a little bit there, but I'm glad to hear that everything went good with you there, Crispy. When I heard about all that there, I had you in my thoughts too there, so very happy to hear. And yeah, man, we'll see you. If we don't see you on the New Year, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in the new one.
Thanks,
Cheers.
buddy.
Thank you.
Plants look good like always. Nice to see that. Up next is Ice and I.
Yeah. Piss and puff, everyone. Catch everyone later. Have a good one.
Right on, buddy. We'll see you around. And last but not least, OK Jace.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram, OKJace20. Cheers, chat. Cheers to the panel. A lot of good grows on today. Good seeing all them. Crispy, great to have you back. A lot of good energy you bring to the show. We missed you there for a while, so it's awesome to have you back. And looking forward to seeing you guys on New Year's Eve. Grow love.
I appreciate all of you. It was your good, loving vibes that helped get me to where I am right now, feeling like my old self. And I appreciate each and every one of you and look forward to hanging out with you in the next time. Grow love.
Grow love, everyone.
Cheers.
Your love.